Hello, permission granted friends. We are here in the hotel bathroom, if you can't tell. So if you really want to make a Facebook Live happen and this is your only option, permission granted. So we're doing it. We are sitting on the edge of the bathtub, coming to you live from London, Kentucky. Hi, Kim. Hi, friend. I'm my first Facebook Live ever. Did you know that? Like on my own thing. It's you.
No, I did not. So, I feel so honored.
You look. So this, if you don't know, is my gorgeous sister Tiffany.
Hi, everybody.
And we're making this happen. Hi, people.
Hi. Why are you not in bed? Go to sleep.
I guess I'm gonna start drinking coffee and doing Facebook Lives at 10:30 at night. Is it past 10:30? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's past 10:30. But here we are, late, and we're tired. But
yeah,
we're just making this happen because she's awesome and she's gonna help me talk about a little bit about permission granted. And so one of the things that I've wanted to share about permission granted is that it's not all just the like fun, joy parts of life. It's not all the frivolous, like, yes, get you that ice cream cone. Like sometimes it's about hard things. It's about getting, sure, sitting in the bathtub, I promise. Hi, Nini.
Hi.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kimmy.
So, permission granted. Oh, there's
Sorry.
Richie.
Okay.
So, permission granted is for hard times, too. And I think sometimes, like, I have to, like, bring myself back to center on that. Like, I have to, like, remember, like, okay, but permission granted is more than just, the fun parts. And so, we just wanted to share a little bit about Tiffany's story, and she's willing to share with us about how she pursued permission granted through a hard time in her life. So I'm just going to have to share a little bit briefly about her journey to being a mom.
All right. Well, I just explored our timeline the other day because of a journal that I was keeping. And saw that it started in 2016, which is crazy because then it reminded me that it's like so long 3 years.
Yeah.
So we found out that we were pregnant for the first time in, July of 2016. July, August, September, yeah. Or no, it would have been August. So we told our family and then had our first loss literally the next day. Kind of just mind-blowing. You already start dreaming and planning, and I was really, really, really angry, and then I felt just a disappointment I've never experienced before. But I feel like I had heard a lot of people, you get a lot of times you will have a miscarriage the first time and then you get pregnant right away the second time and everything's fine. And we did get pregnant a second time, and we were close to 3 months along, announced to my husband's family. We had already told my family when we were with him at Thanksgiving, which is crazy. We were that able to get pregnant that quickly. And so then shortly after went and got an ultrasound and heard bad news in the parking lot again. And then the third time we found out that we were expecting, I was already pretty frustrated, and they had told us not to get pregnant again until we figured out what was going on. Yeah. And so then I was just angry.
Yeah. That
we were pregnant, which is so backwards from what we were experiencing because we wanted to be pregnant.
Sure.
So, fast forward to a conversation that Tony and I had, and I was talking about being a mommy, and so we ended up looking at IVF, and it was not cheap. And I said that would be a really good vacation to Europe. And he said, well, do you want to go to Europe or do you want to be a mommy? I said, I want to be a mommy. So, I think we started in September. No, gosh. We would have started in June, I believe, with taking the meds because we had to take, I had to take medication for 3 months. So, every morning before 8 o'clock, Tony was giving me a shot in the tush of, not progesterone. I can't even remember, you guys.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember texting Mom and saying, I wish you were here. I sent her a picture of all the meds that I got from overseas because it was $2,500 cheaper to get from London. The poor girl, I had an emotional breakdown on the phone with the poor girl from London and called back and apologized because it was just very emotional. So it was all on a timeline.
Yeah.
You had to take this, then you had to take this after this. So anyway, so we go through the fertility treatment. I have 8 eggs. This isn't too much, right, to share?
No, this is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
So I had 8 eggs that were retrieved. 7 were fertilized. 4 made it to be tested genetically, and Magnolia was healthy. So we got baby girl. So there's our story. But I was just in a really gross spot for years. I mean, I can't believe it was years.
It literally was years.
It felt really long because I think it was long. It was years.
I mean, it was long.
Yeah. I was pregnant for 2 New Year's Eves in a row.
Wow.
And I've been pregnant 4 times. So when people ask me, you know, no, it's not my first time being pregnant. I don't know. It's just a loaded question.
Right. Oh, of course. That's always something to navigate, I'm sure, for you. Like, how do you answer that question?
Yeah, and I don't want to be overly sensitive to the point that I'm turning people off from having the conversation.
Sure.
But I also want to educate.
And so there was one time that we were in London, Kentucky after one of your
first
losses.
Yep.
And we decided to meet in the middle. And so the crazy thing is we're just one exit from where we were that time, which is kind of crazy. But we are back in London, and baby girl's asleep on Grammy.
She's on the other side.
She's just on the other side of that wall. And she's the best thing ever.
My word.
Yeah. You call her your little dream. Hello, dream.
Hello, my dream.
So sweet. So, a couple questions for you, Tiff, if I may.
Yes.
So, of course, we're kind of looking at your story through the lens of permission granted. So, in the hard times, how did you pursue permission granted? Like, what things did you pursue to do to kind of, I guess, be who you are right where you were right in that moment?
I think one thing that I did was I allowed myself to not be okay. I wasn't okay, and I literally didn't have the emotional energy to act like I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there were things, because we were talking about, you know, what did I do, and I there were times, there were 2 very important baby showers I did not go to.
Mm-hmm.
And those people understood. I just said, I can't, for me, and at the same time, I don't want to take it away. Any energy. Because this is a really exciting moment for you.
Right.
So,
well, that's so kind of you to have even, like, had the wherewithal to have thought about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know that...
I don't think I would have made it. I don't think I would have made it through. Yeah. And so I, didn't want to be the person that was running out crying at somebody else.
Yeah.
So, I definitely did that. There were times that my amazing husband was like, we need to get off the couch. Let's go do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I had told him, I was like, everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It's like people are holding up their beautiful babies in my face.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Right.
But so I allowed myself to be distant and
that was to kind
of
to protect your heart, protect kind of like the space and save space for like, okay, this
really sucks, and I don't want to act like it doesn't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it like set me at an even lower. Like, I would be okay, but if something triggered, I was even lower. So I think I was like, I got to maintain and stay here.
Yeah. And I think there were a couple of times in that time period, I know that you wrote a couple of pieces. Mm-hmm. And you were really, really vulnerable and just kind of the way that you described I guess you talked about the wallpaper of like the hole that you were in. Like,
oh, I built the...
Yeah, remember that piece?
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, it was hard.
I was setting up shop. Like, I was like, this is where I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in this place. But it was really, really hard to read. But at the same time, it gave me a really great understanding of where you were. And to be able to kind of try to meet you there, even though I hadn't experienced, what you experienced. But to be able to understand where you were at and be able to be there for you in any way that I could. So you shared where you were, and you're just like, well, this is where I'm at,
and this is it. Yeah,
and you have permission to be that, there, and to feel those things. Yeah. No, I wasn't trying to tell you to change the wallpaper on the place that you were at. You know, like if that's where you are, that's okay. Yeah. Like, it's a hard time. It's a hard time.
Yeah, I was writing something about trying to. It doesn't flow very well, but like to tell people, like when you're saying like, oh, life gives you lemons, and in my head I was like, if I want to like squeeze the lemon juice into my eyes and sit here in discomfort, I'm gonna do it. Like, if that's what I need to do. Like, it might not seem at that moment. I think Tony a couple times was like, you need to get off the couch. But I remember being like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go to Hobby Lobby and see a senior girl in her Letterman jacket pregnant? Because that's happened before, and I can't do that today. Right. So some of it was just, if I couldn't do it today or that day, I didn't.
And that's okay.
Yeah. 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 And slowly, oh no.
There's.
What do we do?
I don't know.
This is your gig.
Granny?
The boys are in the room next door.
Yeah, I think the boys are knocking. Yes, my friend Kim, she just lost her niece, and she's been struggling with her grief. And that maybe, I don't know how she's feeling right now, but I know it's been a hard road, and I'm sorry, friend.
I'm sorry.
Like a senior in high school. So it's hard to be present, I think, where you are, right where you are, especially in places that are hard. But you kind of gave yourself permission to do that. Like, you didn't, try to like speed things up or make things faster or try to get through it, quicker than you needed to. You just kind of let yourself be where you were and just grieve and in your own way and make, the concessions that you needed to. Like, I'm not going to those baby showers. I don't feel like going to do that today. I'm gonna sit here. So how did you then transition from a place of grieving and then to a place of being able to celebrate the gift of Magnolia? It was kind of a process, I think, for you.
It really was. There were multiple times where, even before the discussion of baby shower, I know registering, that I was like, I don't really want to register.
And you waited a very long time to buy draft.
Anything. Oh, draft. Oh, gosh.
That was your big thing. You're like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I didn't buy draft. Like, we were trying to get ready, and Tone was like, okay, so let's go to the detergent aisle, and he was like, had his little hand up and was like looking at him and comparing prices, and I was just behind him crying. And he turned around and he was like, what is... I was like, I can't buy it.
Yeah, it's not time yet.
I can't buy it yet. So weird.
It's okay.
Registering was another thing. I just felt like I was like jinxing anything that was good. But my girlfriends were like, Tiff, you gotta register. Like, you're about to throw a baby shower.
We gotta get this baby girl some stuff.
And for you guys, I was like, can you just not buy tickets yet? Do you remember that? For the baby shower.
Yes. Like, yeah. And you were like, at your baby shower, oh my gosh, we laughed so much and so hard.
We did.
Remember your outfit that you tried on? It was the best thing ever.
I was like, listen, I'm not going to be the normal pregnant woman who's gonna wear the maternity outfit to their shower. And I probably should have gone with that direction. I tried on like a romper, high-low romper, like shorts in the front.
Yeah, shorts in the front and the long dress thing, and it was the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
We laughed really hard, and then we went to Hobby Lobby.
You and I.
Was that before the shower?
That was after, I think.
Okay.
When we were running errands, and then you ended up on the scooter.
I ended up in the scooter at Walmart.
I was like, go for it, girl.
Permission granted. That was before even. Permission granted. And we were giggling on the cart.
I mean, you had a pregnant bladder.
Oh.
And I had a post three kids bladder. So, it was a process for you. And I remember, I don't know, Magnolia was a month or so old, and I just walked in and just like crying because I was just like, oh my goodness, she's here. And you were just kind of like, I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. And that was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't overly concerned or
That's
anything.
Good. Yeah.
I was just, but now you're just like head over heels.
Oh my word, she's so cool. I just love her so much. She's just the coolest little human being ever.
So, like, you gave yourself permission to find joy again and, embrace the gift.
It even took, that's a good point you reminded me that it even took me a minute.
Yeah.
In the joy to, like, really be in it after that moment. Moments.
And I'm sure that you still grieve the losses. Like, that grief is not over.
Never. But it's interesting because I asked Tony and I was like, I know the dates, but I don't know when they would have been born.
Mm.
But I don't think I should know when they would have been born because that doesn't seem healthy. And he was like, no.
Yeah.
So
don't figure it
out. There's like a healthy respect and love for my littles that we lost. But I don't think they or I want to take up any more space. That sounds terrible, but with the sad times, like it's like okay, it's time. So I think like embracing the joy is like it's time. Like I think that has helped me a little. As it's about frickin' time, and we're gonna do it.
Yeah, Kim, I can understand. That would be hard. For your family, I'm sure, too. Like, it's hard to know where they're at and what they need, and that's really, really hard to know. And I'm sure, during those times, it was hard to know, the hard times, how to know what you needed. And we kind of said sometimes, like, you feel free to tell us what you need. Like, if you're like, I don't want to talk about it, then we can do that. And if you're like, no, I want to process and I want to think and I want to plan and I want to talk. And Kim, I'm so glad to hear that this little silly bathroom. Oh my goodness. We almost didn't do it tonight.
We almost didn't do it
tonight.
We got real close to it.
Real close.
Real close.
So yeah, I guess it's good to remember, permission granted, that it might be a process for you to get back to joy, and that there's steps for that.
But I think every time I was like, I need to be on this couch because it's not safe out there.
Yeah.
Emotionally, and for my heart was permission granted, even though I'm like, this might not seem okay to somebody else. For my husband, for instance, was like, let's go outside. Yeah. It's almost like if your soul and your heart is saying, just protect.
Yeah.
And then do what you need to protect.
Yeah, I love that.
Because there'll be tomorrow. You can try again or what,
Right.
So it's like permission granted to sit on the couch if that's what you're feeling you need to do. Right. You'll be stronger the next day than to
I like that.
Try again.
I like that. I love that. What did you learn, what did you learn about permission granted that, you go back to?
I think to feel it and to, speak into it and admit it and then work through it. So I think I've learned, I don't know if it was just from this experience, but like, you know, when people are like, how are you doing? And I would be like, I'm not good. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
So, and then, but not stay there and live there. Like we talked about the Teepee, which in itself is just a really cool symbol.
The Teepee.
The Teepee.
I thought you said TV. Oh, I'm sorry. The Teepee.
The Teepee.
Yeah, I wrote about that, I think.
Yes. Yeah. And I saw it one time, the second loss, it was around our second miscarriage, and I saw it, and it was just, because it was on like the video of my family all together the first time we told them, and in my head I was like, there's the Teepee, remember the Teepee? Oh, you saw that Teepee. And in my head it was just all this unhelpful stuff. So I think permission granted, what I've learned through it is just to feel it, experience it, and have, you know, that permission granted to say, like, I'm not okay right now, but at the same time to do what makes me feel okay in the moment.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not okay, there was a few times that I was like, I just need to like do something to get my mind off of it.
Yeah.
And so it might be one day all I wanted to do was sit there and think about it.
Right.
But then the next day I was like, I need to go out and do something to get my mind off of it. If that makes any sense, yeah. So,
yeah, that makes sense. And there's a book. What's that book that you read?
Untethered Soul.
Untethered. That's when you started talking about that. I was like, that's
Untethered Soul. Singer.
Do you hear the boys?
Is that the boys?
I think so.
We're gonna get a call from first floor.
Maybe.
Is gonna call. We're about to call for third floor.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there.
Untethered Soul is a good one.
Untethered Soul, and he talks about he talks about, what was it, holding something?
Yeah, if you hold on to something, it stops you. Your creatively, it's not a word. Creativity. Your creativity is stopped. Your emotional ability is like stopped up when you don't experience something and feel something and let it pass through you. So in my head, a lot of times I was like, feel it and let it pass through. Feel it and let it pass through. So
like, don't cling to it.
Don't cling to it because it becomes unhealthy.
Yeah.
And does more damage than it already is.
Sure.
Especially if it's something traumatic. I don't know. It's kind of that tug of like, this is terrible and I can't act like this hasn't been terrible. But at the same time, it's just going to do more damage if you let it sit inside and fester. So that was one thing that really helped me a lot with him.
Yeah. What are some of the very simple things that bring you joy today?
Magnolia's feet, Magnolia's toes, her cheeks.
Her cheeks. Her little pigtails.
Her pigtails, watching her dance-ish. It was some dancing and clapping.
Yeah,
to live music.
she was getting her groove on, I think.
She was getting her groove on.
She's pretty amazing.
She really is. She's
really
so
is.
amazing.
And you're such a great mommy. And I've just, like Mom and I were just talking about earlier how hi Becca. And I'm glad,
hi Becca.
How you, Rachel said she talks to grief. Like has a conversation with it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Mom and I were talking earlier just how we've never really seen somebody just like so much in love with their baby. Like, I'll be, there's Carmi!
Hi, Car!
We'll be like talking on the phone. I'll be talking to Tiffany. We're having like these great conversations and I'll just hear
she's so funny.
And Tiffany is just like divulged into giggles because Magnolia has just stolen her heart again.
She's just so funny.
She's pretty, personality plus. She's going to fit right in with all of the other little ones in this family.
She is.
She's going to hold her own just fine. So to kind of wrap up, not that you can always put, a bow on this kind of a conversation. A couple of things we talked about. Permission granted in hard times. Go ahead and share your feelings. Share where you are with those that you trust. And you would post stuff on Facebook too, like to say like, I'm struggling, but hanging in there, and just you just kind of, you didn't go into a lot of details. You weren't like saying more than you needed to say. You were just honest. You're just being honest. And then also when you're going through a hard time, protect your heart. Because...
Really, at all costs.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
Because and that you did not apologize for missing the baby showers.
I didn't. Those people knew that I didn't want to, that I was sad. But I never, No, I didn't. Good.
Yeah. And no need for it. There was no need for it. You were doing what was best and most healthy for you. And that's what we're supposed to do. We got to take care of ourselves to be able to take care of anybody else. Also, just being present for all that is, because there's going to be joy in the midst of the hard times. And just to remember to be who you are right where you are in those moments. Because there's somehow, I don't understand, there's growth in those hard times.
Stupid and terrible.
It is.
But I'm not the same person. And we're not the same couple. We've said that because somebody was like, did you hate him for her first year of life? Like, did you want to kill? That's what they said. Did you want to kill? It might have been like the first not the year, but first 4 months or something.
Because everything is just so hard and crazy and readjustments and stuff.
I had run to meet somebody to buy a rug on Facebook Marketplace because that's what I do. So I had missed this conversation. And they were like, well, did you and Tony? And I looked at Tony and I was like, no. And he was like, that's what I said. I didn't. He was like, I didn't know if you wanted to kill me your first 4 months, but I didn't think so. And we were both like, we're not the same couple. Like, we've been through so much so that it doesn't phase like we used to be phased by stuff. So know that on the outside, and I remember you telling me, like, on the other side of this, I remember you telling me, like, there's another side of this, but in the moment you can't think about it.
Right.
Because you can't see it.
Of course.
So I don't really know, but in the, just think about how much you're going to grow through it. I don't want to say.
That doesn't help. Right?
I know. No, I don't mean you.
Yeah.
But they're saying that. But, like, really.
Hi, Aunt Judy.
Hi, Aunt Judy. Why is everybody still, I'm like, you're all such night owls. I love it. But, yeah. So, like, think about what's happening. I don't know. You can't. I don't know if you can. In the moment, I don't think you can. So I was going to say, like, just think about what it's going to look like on the other side. And I remember you trying to tell me that. But I remember saying, I'm not on the other side.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm in it.
I'm here.
And this really is terrible.
Yeah.
So just protect your heart at all costs. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, one part of permission granted, and one of the ways that we can, I guess, lean into being who we are right where we are, and not apologize for that, because there's no room for apologizing when you're trying to live your life in a wholehearted, congruent way. Like, you got to do what you have to do to process, to learn, to grow, to grieve, like all of those things. I knew what you meant, Kim. Yes, sorrow and joy, they do coexist, and it doesn't make sense.
I think that's why it's hard to put it into words.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, yeah. I just will never forget that high of that phone call, the teepee, the kids playing outside, and the very next day was an entirely different conversation.
Oh my gosh.
And it was
crazy.
Yeah, I've never experienced that kind of dip.
Next day.
It was, yeah.
And I think I remembered saying it a lot of the times. It felt cruel.
It was cruel, yeah.
I said a lot of things to God that I didn't think I ever would. And I remember Mom saying that our God has broad shoulders.
Yeah, permission granted.
Permission granted.
Because, that's what He wants. He wants honesty from us, and He knows we're hurting. So there's no point to hide it. But we're probably getting a little tired, and I think there's some boys.
They're moving.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. So I hope that this has been kind of fun to watch us sit on the edge of the bathtub, and not just fun, but also like maybe help you lean into permission granted a little bit in those hard areas of your life. And so if you want to stay up to date with permission granted stuff, you can sign up on my website for the newsletter and the blog post. They'll come out to you. The newsletter comes out the first Monday of the month, and the blog posts come out every Wednesday. But I'd love to be able to meet you in your inbox, and if you email me, I will email you back. It's so much fun. So we stepped into Permission Granted and did a Facebook Live from the bathtub of the hotel. And so I hope that in some way, shape, or form, today, tomorrow, this week, this weekend, that you will pursue Permission Granted and be who you are right where you are, and give yourself permission to do that. Yeah, come join us, Rachel. It'd be kind of fun. There's a seat right there.
We are kind of hiding.
We are
so
kind of hiding.
Isn't this like hashtag? I feel like you should be like hashtag permission.
I'm not really sure that's me. Hashtag
permission.
Are we sure that's what that means?
I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
I'm just not like cool enough, people.
I'm just. You're so cool. She did a ropes course today, you guys.
You guys, I did, and I've never done anything like that. Permission granted, I did it. I'm really proud of myself, actually, because I've never done anything like that before. My feet hurt, my neck hurts, I hurt, but
She said you don't do that.
My teenagers would say no.
So I'm not cool. It's official. Official.
Oh gosh,
it's not cool.
So, anyways, permission granted, friends.
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Kim says. All right, Kim. Thanks for keeping us cool. Gang signs. That's fantastic.
Okay, well, no. So it's a no, guys. Okay, it's clear. It's fine.
Okay, if you've gotten to this part, that's amazing that you've stuck with us this long. So, permission granted, friends. Hi, Jen Bryant.
Good night.
Good night. So long.
Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen.
I don't know the rest part. Good night, friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Not really, but, permission granted, friends. Go get it.
Good night.
Good night.